You ever walk into your own kitchen and find a goodbye note instead of your wife? Yeah, that happened to me. Last year, around this time, life looked stable. Not perfect, not wild, just routine. Me, my wife Chloe, and our little girl Zoe. We lived in Austin, Texas. I ran a small gym downtown. Chloe was doing online yoga coaching, Insta branding crap, and we juggled parenting like every other semi-functional couple out there. We used to be that fit couple you'd scroll past on Instagram, poses on mountaintops. Power parents. Behind the scenes, bills piling up. Zoe's daycare costs a fortune. We barely talked unless it was about work, groceries, or whose turn it was to cook. But we had a plan. A real one. We were going to pause everything for a few months and do a road trip with Zoe. See the national parks. Unplug. Reset. We'd even saved enough to cover expenses and keep the gym afloat while I was away. I was looking forward to it. Dumb, right? 6 months ago, signs I didn't want to see. That's when Chloe started changing. She'd stay up way later than usual. Always scrolling. Research, she said. For content or coaching packages. I believed her. At first, some days I'd find her in the kitchen, just staring out the window like she was somewhere else completely. She said she was tired, burnt out, needed space. I figured she meant like a spa day, not a new fucking time zone. And listen, I'm not stupid. I felt it. That distance. But I ignored it. Told myself it was stress, work, burnout. Whatever excuse I could feed myself so I wouldn't have to face the bigger question, what if she didn't want this anymore? Then one day she was gone. It was a Thursday. I got home from the gym around 6. Zoe was already with my mom because Chloe said she needed time to do some journaling. Cool. I walk in. House is dead quiet. Weird, but okay. I figure she's taking a nap or whatever. I go to the kitchen, and there it is. A fucking note, folded in half. My name on the front. No dramatic envelope. No buildup. Just 4 sentences. If that. Mason, I need time. I'm not okay, and I need to do this for me. I'll come back when I'm ready. No return date, no forwarding address, no talk, no heads up, no, hey, I think I'm about to ruin your life. Just gone. Her closet half empty. Her car, not in the driveway. I called her, straight to voicemail. Called again. Left a message, calm voice, no yelling. Hey, babe, got your note. Can we talk? Nada. Reality set in fast. That night I sat on the edge of our bed, staring at the goddamn ceiling like an idiot. I opened her drawer just to feel something, hoping maybe this was a test or some kind of twisted joke. It wasn't. I checked the bank. She'd taken out $7,300 from our savings. Not all of it, but enough to make my stomach turn. I called my brother Jake. Told him everything. First thing out of his mouth. Dude, lawyer up, now. Lock the accounts. I didn't sleep that night. Just stared at the empty space beside me, wondering how the hell someone could walk out on their kid and husband with the confidence of someone heading to brunch. The next morning, telling Zoe, how do you explain to a 6-year-old that her mom just bailed? I picked her up from my mom's and tried to keep it light. Told her mommy was on a trip. Like a vacation, she asked. Yeah, something like that. She colored a card that said, "Come home soon, mommy." I cried in the bathroom for 10 minutes after she gave it to me. Chloe went full influencer mode. A few days later, I cracked. I checked her Instagram. Boom. There it was. Some beach photo, hair blowing, wearing a stupid straw hat, and drinking a smoothie. Caption. Finally, breathing. Finally, free. Healing vibes. Solo journey. Are you fucking kidding me? I screenshotted it and sent it to Jake. He called immediately. She's out there pretending she's Elizabeth Gilbert, and you're at home wiping crayon off the goddamn walls. Every comment under that post, proud of you, queen. You deserve happiness. Leave that old life behind. No mention of her kid, or me, or anything remotely close to I abandoned my family on a Thursday afternoon with no explanation. I wanted to scream. Jen didn't know either Chloe's best friend since college. I figured if anyone knew something, it'd be her. So I called Jen. She was just as confused. Wait, what? She left. She didn't say a word to me. That shook me. She hadn't even told her closest friend. This wasn't some spontaneous I need space meltdown. This was planned, quiet, calculated. That made it hurt even more. Trying to keep it together, I did what I had to do. Dropped Zoe off at school, ran the gym solo, cooked, cleaned, laughed when I needed to. But every second I wasn't moving. I felt like I was drowning in concrete. At night, I'd hear a noise and think it was her coming home. Stupid. Right? I'd reach for my phone, thinking maybe she texted. Nothing. I started documenting everything. Just in case. I didn't know if she was coming back, but I knew I couldn't afford to let her crash back into our lives whenever she felt like it. I wasn't going to be her plan B. End of part 1. SHT gets real in part 2, but here's the thing, this wasn't rock bottom yet. Because what came next, that was the real slap. She didn't just leave. She built a whole new life, while pretending the old one didn't even exist. And when I saw how, with who, and what she'd done while gone, yeah, that's when I stopped grieving and started rebuilding with fire in my chest. 3 weeks after Chloe left, I stopped checking her Instagram. I'd already tortured myself enough watching her play Tropical Goddess while I was scrubbing Zoe's yogurt off the damn couch. But curiosity's a bitch. It was late. Zoe had finally passed out after asking again when mommy would be home. I couldn't sleep. So yeah, I peeked. And there it was. Another post. Not even subtle this time. Her. All wrapped up in some white-draped hammock. Head tilted, laughing. And there's a guy. Shirtless. Tattooed. All soft boy spiritual looking. His hands literally on her thigh. Caption. Finding peace with someone who sees my soul. What the fuck? Soul, she had a family. A 6-year-old daughter. A husband. Mortgage. Joint bank account. Was that not soulful enough? I stared at that screen so long my eyes blurred. And then I snapped. I wasn't just mad anymore. I was humiliated. She wasn't out there healing. She was out there playing house with some random yogi while her actual kid was asking where her bedtime kisses went. I grabbed my laptop. I had to know more. I wasn't even sure what I was looking for. But I started going through her old emails. Yeah, I know. Sounds desperate. But we shared the account back in the day. She still had login auto-saved. Her inbox was mostly spam, except for one folder called Align Work. I clicked it. Emails with guys from dating apps. Calendar invites to breathwork dates. A PayPal transfer for $3,500 labeled Costa Rica Workshop. One guy even Venmo'd her rent. It hit me like a punch to the throat. This wasn't a mental breakdown. This was a soft exit strategy. She'd been planning this life for months. I was just too wrapped up in holding us together to see it. I wanted to throw something. Scream. Break things. But Zoe was asleep. And my rage had nowhere to go. So I just sat there. In the dark. Feeling like the world's biggest idiot. The next morning, I went through her shared photo folder. Don't ask me why. I think I needed to see more. Something final to snap the last piece of denial still stuck in my chest. It was there. Her at the beach. Her doing yoga poses on cliffs. Her dancing at what looked like a silent retreat. And him. That guy. In the background. In the foreground. In her lap. They were a thing, full on. And she wasn't hiding it anymore. So guess what? Neither was I. I called the lawyer. I told him everything. Gave him the timeline. The bank activity. The screenshots. He told me Chloe's disappearance counted as abandonment under Texas law. I could file for custody. Lock down assets. Protect Zoe from any chaos she might drag back with her. So I did. I changed the locks. took her off the business registration, froze access to the shared accounts. It felt brutal, but so was her leaving us in the dust. Jake helped me draft a message just in case she tried to come back and act like nothing happened. It was short. Until there's a legal custody agreement, please direct all communication through my attorney. Cold, maybe, but necessary. Because here's what she didn't get. This wasn't just about us anymore. It was about Zoe. And I wasn't going to let her waltz in and out of her life like a damn seasonal guest star. And right when I started to feel like I was finding my footing again, Thanksgiving happened. Let me back up. Thanksgiving's always been a big deal in my family. Food, loud cousins, football on mute because my mom insists on playing jazz instead. Chloe used to love it. But this year, everyone knew, sort of. They knew she'd left. Knew she hadn't called. But I hadn't told them about the guy. Or the dating app receipts. Or the beach hammock thigh grabbing. I just said she needed space. That was enough to make people exchange that look across the table. So I'm getting Zoe dressed for the big family dinner, tying her little sparkly boots. And my phone buzzes. Chloe. First time I'd seen her name pop up in over a month. Text said, "Can I come by today and see Zoe?" I stared at the screen like it had teeth. Are you kidding me? You vanish without a goodbye. Play Instagram nomad. And now you want to swing by like it's a fucking casual pop-in. I didn't want to answer. But Zoe. She deserved better than being the collateral damage in this emotional war zone. So I replied, "We'll be at my parents' house. Come if you want. But don't expect everything to be normal." She wrote back, "Understood." When she walked in that afternoon, it felt like a bad reality show twist. She was dressed up, makeup flawless, carrying a tote bag that probably cost more than our last vacation. Zoe ran to her. That broke me a little, just seeing her light up. But Chloe, she hugged her, smiled like nothing happened, and said, "You've gotten so big," like it had been years, not weeks. My family went dead quiet. Everyone pretended to eat, but the tension was thick. My mom offered her cranberry juice like it was a peace treaty. Chloe sat like she belonged there. Then she started talking about Bali, about sunsets, about growth. I bit my tongue so hard I tasted blood. Finally, I leaned in and whispered, "You're really gonna sit here and pretend nothing happened?" She didn't flinch. Just said, "Mason, I did what I had to do. I'm here now." I laughed. Like, actual laugh. The kind that starts low and turns mean. "You're here now, wow. Thanks for gracing us with your presence." Zoe looked up, so I dropped it. Not the place, not the time. After dinner, Chloe hugged Zoe goodbye and said, "I'll see you soon, sweetie." And Zoe, sweet, innocent, hopeful, asked, "You're coming home?" Chloe froze. I answered before she could. "Mommy has her own place now," I said, calm, controlled. Zoe nodded slowly, then walked away to play with her cousins. After Chloe left, my mom hugged me in that way moms do when they don't know how to fix it. Jake patted my back and whispered, "Handled like a fucking champ." I didn't feel like a champ. I felt hollow. But there was something else too. Resolve. Because that Thanksgiving wasn't about food or family anymore. It was the moment I realized I don't want her back. Not even a little. She left us once. I'm not giving her a chance to do it again. ChatGPT said the Monday after Thanksgiving, she showed up at my gym. No warning, no text, just waltzed in like she still had a key to my fucking life. It was around noon. I was halfway through a session with a client, Lisa, one of my regulars who's been working through a rough divorce and using deadlifts as therapy. We're mid-set and boom, there's Chloe, standing in the doorway like some Hallmark ghost from Christmas past. I swear, for a second, I thought I was hallucinating from pre-workout. She looked off. Like someone who spent too long trying to look put together but couldn't hide the panic under the concealer. Her smile was weak. Her eyes had that sheen like she'd been crying in the car for 30 minutes before walking in. "Can we talk?" she asked. Like we were two friends who had a minor misunderstanding, not like she nuked our entire fucking family with 4 sentences and a beach selfie. I glanced at Lisa, who raised an eyebrow. I said, "I've got clients. Email my lawyer." She stepped forward. "Mason, please, Just 5 minutes. The tone in her voice, it wasn't confident anymore. It was soft, unsteady. Lisa, bless her, gave me a subtle nod and said, "I'll take a water break." So I walked outside with Chloe, mostly because I wanted to hear what kind of bullshit excuse she had cooked up now. We stood in the alley behind the gym, near the dumpsters. Pretty fitting, honestly. She started talking. "I made a mistake," she said. "No Eshati?" I thought I needed to find myself. I was overwhelmed. "I didn't mean to hurt you or Zoe. I just stared at her. I didn't think it would." "Go this way," she added. "I thought I'd come back and things would be okay." "And how's that going for you?" I asked. Her voice dropped. "He left me." Ah, there it is. Turns out Mr. Soul-touching Yogi was also touching a few other souls on the side. Got what he wanted, Chloe's money, clout, probably some free yoga sessions, and dipped. And suddenly, home looked a lot warmer. She looked away when she said it. "He convinced me to invest in this retreat thing. Said we'd start a wellness brand together. He took the money and disappeared." How much, I asked. "Most of it." She wouldn't look me in the eye. That rage I thought I'd burned through. It flickered back up. But in a new way. Cold. Detached. Not fiery. Just clear. She'd picked him over us. Picked a dream over a daughter. And now that her utopia had imploded, she wanted to crawl back. She kept talking. Said she was couch surfing. That her credit cards were maxed. That the brand deals dried up after she ghosted her audience too long. Then she dropped the bomb. I was thinking, maybe I could stay. Just until I get back on my feet. That sentence hit me like a gut punch. Not because it was surprising, but because of how casual it was. Like she was asking to borrow a hoodie. Not reintegrate into the life she walked out on. I laughed, not a ha-ha laugh. That bitter kind that sits in your chest and squeezes out through your teeth. "You want to move back in?" I asked. Like nothing happened. "Just for a while. I can help with Zoe. I miss her. You had a daughter. You still do. But you made your choice. You don't get to backpedal now because your backup plan flopped." "I know I messed up," she said, voice cracking, "but maybe this can be a second chance. You had 1,000 chances. You took every single one and set it on fire." She started crying, but I didn't move. "Not this time. You didn't just leave me, Chloe. You left her. She asked about you every night. Drew you pictures. Waited by the door. And you were too busy finding your fucking alignment to even call." She wiped her face, still trying to hold some kind of composure. "I thought you'd be waiting," she whispered. I looked at her dead in the eyes. "You thought wrong." Then I turned and walked back inside, left her there with the dumpster and the echoes of her own choices. Back at the front desk, Lisa didn't say a word. Just handed me a water bottle and patted my arm. That night, I told Zoe everything well. The 6-year-old version. I said Mommy was going through something and needed to figure out her life. That she still loved her. But she wasn't going to be living with us. That we were going to keep doing our thing. Just the two of us. Zoe nodded slowly, then asked, "Does that mean we get to pick new paint for Mommy's room?" I blinked. "Sure," I said. "Any color you want." She picked lavender. We spent the weekend painting. I let her get messy. Paint on the floor. The ceiling. Herself. She giggled like nothing in the world had ever gone wrong. I posted a pic of the final result. Caption: "New beginnings in lavender. Just me and the kid." Chloe saw it. I know, because she liked it. Then unliked it 5 minutes later. A few days after that, her lawyer sent mine a letter. Nothing aggressive, just a formal request to revisit custody terms. Chloe wanted weekend visits. We reviewed it. I didn't say no. I said supervised. Neutral location. Small steps. Zoe deserved that much. At least, Chloe didn't respond. Instead, she went live on Instagram. A crying video. Soft music. Talking about being vilified for choosing healing. That motherhood looks different for everyone. That some people weaponize children to punish women for breaking free. I almost threw my phone across the room. I didn't respond, didn't post a clapback, didn't share receipts, because I didn't need to. The comments did it for me. Wait, didn't you leave your kid? You ghosted your family for a boyfriend and now want sympathy. Accountability isn't abuse. Queen. One girl wrote, as a single mom, I don't play when it comes to showing up. You don't get to dip out and call it healing. That one hit. A week later, her account was private. Brand deals gone. Podcast appearances canceled. One of her old sponsors even DM'd me, asking if I'd be interested in a dad strength campaign. Wild. But I said yes. Not for revenge. For Zoe. For every night I read her 3 bedtime stories just to keep her from crying. For every morning she asked if mommy remembered her birthday. For every drawing she made with only 2 stick figures instead of 3. We did the shoot at the gym. She came with me, holding her mini dumbbell like a boss. The last photo was her on my shoulders. Both of us laughing, sweaty, happy. I framed it, hung it in our hallway, right where her mother's wedding photo used to be. 3 weeks went by. No new texts from Chloe. No surprise visits. Just silence. And honestly, it was peaceful. Like, too peaceful. Then out of nowhere, I get an email. Subject line co-parenting proposal. I click. It's a Word doc attached from her lawyer. Some formal BS about a custody rotation schedule. Alternating holidays. And get this, a request to resume shared decision-making. I sat back in my chair, laughing. Not because it was funny, but because the audacity was actually impressive. She wanted 50-50 now, after ghosting for 2 months. After abandoning our kid with no warning and playing spiritual Barbie on the beach. Screw that. I called my lawyer. He read it, then paused. Do you want to fight it? Damn right I do. I said, she doesn't get to parachute back in like it's a fucking Airbnb. He chuckled. All right, we'll push back. We sent back a counteroffer, supervised visits only, no overnights. A 6-month review after she's shown consistency. No response. 2 days later, I'm walking Zoe home from school, and I see a woman outside our apartment building. Yep, Chloe. She's leaning against the railing like some sad character in a Netflix drama. Sunglasses, yoga mat, trying to look casual, but the cracks were showing. Zoe froze. I bent down and said, "You okay?" She nodded, but her eyes were locked on her mom. I could feel her little fingers tighten around mine. We walked up. Chloe pulled off her sunglasses and smiled. Too wide, too forced. Hi, Zoe Bean. Zoe didn't say anything, just looked up at me. Chloe's face dropped a little. I said, "What are you doing here?" I thought I'd surprise her. Just say hi. You don't do surprises anymore, I said flatly. You want to see her? We go through the schedule. Chloe looked like she wanted to argue, but Zoe broke the silence. Why didn't you call on my birthday? Chloe's face went pale. I was traveling. I didn't have good signal. Zoe just stared. You posted a video that day, she said. You said the stars told you to let go of the past. Boom. 6 years old. And she saw through the bullshit better than half the adults I know. Chloe crouched down. Sweetie, I didn't mean you. But you left, Zoe said. I stepped in. That's enough for today. Chloe stood, blinking fast. I just want to fix things. I lowered my voice. Then respect the boundaries. You broke the trust. You don't get to skip the work. She opened her mouth like she had something to say. But nothing came out. I walked Zoe past her, back into our building. That whole walk up the stairs. My heart was pounding. Not from anger, just sadness. Grief, I guess. For the family we almost had. Inside, I microwaved mac and cheese. Zoe sat at the table, swinging her legs. After a minute, she said, Daddy? Yeah, bug. Do people stop being family if they don't love you anymore? I swear, I felt my chest crack. I sat down next to her and pulled her close. No. But sometimes, people stop acting like family. And when that happens, it's okay to protect yourself. She nodded like she understood, even if she didn't fully yet. That night, I emailed the lawyer full custody petition. No more supervised visits, no more half-stepping. If Chloe wanted back in, she'd have to prove she deserved it. The next few weeks, things got quieter. I focused on Zoe, on the gym, on rebuilding. I started getting traction online from that brand shoot, single dad content, parenting tips, gym routines for parents with no time. People loved it. And honestly, it felt good to be seen as more than just the guy whose wife disappeared. One night, I got a DM from a local podcast, The Real Dads of Austin. They wanted me on to talk about fatherhood, resilience, co-parenting struggles. I hesitated, but Jake convinced me. "It's your story," he said. "No one else is going to tell it right." So I went. We recorded in this little indie studio. Host was cool, another single dad. Real conversations, no sugarcoating. Halfway through, he asked me, "What was the moment you knew you weren't going to take her back?" I didn't even have to think. The day Zoe stopped asking where she was. That's when I knew I couldn't let Chloe float in and out anymore. My kid deserved solid ground. That clip went viral. Comments flooded in. This hit me in the gut. My ex did the same. "You're doing amazing, man." I cried in the car listening to this. It wasn't fame or anything, but it was validation. I wasn't crazy. I wasn't being bitter. I was being a dad who showed up. A week later, Chloe called. She didn't text. She didn't email. She called. I almost didn't pick up, but I did. She sounded different, tired, real, for once. I saw the interview, she said. I didn't say anything. I deserved all of that, she added. I just wanted to say, "I'm sorry, like, for real this time. Not for PR, not for court, just sorry." Silence. Then she said, "I'm going to sign whatever custody arrangement you want." I know I messed it up. I exhaled, slowly. I appreciate that. "I hope one day Zoe will forgive me," she said, voice cracking. "Even if I'm not in her life, just tell her I loved her, even when I didn't know how to show it." That gutted me, but I didn't say anything she could twist into a lifeline. "I'll tell her." We hung up, and that was it. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just sat there. Let the quiet settle, because that was closure. Not the kind wrapped in bows. Not the fairy tale kind. Just real, messy, human. I filed for full custody. She didn't contest it. It got approved. I never blocked her number, but she hasn't called again. And honestly, I hope she's okay. Not for me, not even for Zoe, but because I don't want my daughter to grow up thinking love means running when it's hard. I want her to know that love stays. Love shows up. Love paints lavender bedrooms and reads bedtime stories and makes mac and cheese 3 nights a week when life is chaos. That's the legacy I'm building now, with or without Chloe. ChatGPT said a year later, life looked nothing like it did before. We had a rhythm now. Me and Zoe. Just us two. I dropped her off at school, ran my clients at the gym, picked her up, dinner. Bedtime stories repeat. Nothing flashy. But it felt solid. Like a house finally built on bedrock instead of emotional sand. People say kids are resilient. What they don't say is that resilience comes from repetition, from routines, from safety. I made sure she had all 3. She stopped asking about Chloe months ago. At first it felt cold, like maybe she forgot. But one night, I realized she just accepted things, quietly. Like kids do when they're tired of waiting. We had our traditions now. Pancakes every Saturday. Game nights every other Friday. Movie marathons with popcorn in bowls bigger than our heads. Zoe called them couch campouts. She had a therapist, a school counselor, people checking in, but mostly, she had me, and I had her. And for the first time in a long time, that felt like enough. My business took off too. That podcast gig led to a couple more. Then local news did a short profile on the fit dad who chose stability. Sounds cheesy. I know. But it helped. We got more clients, more bookings. I even launched a Dad Strong program training designed for single dads trying to stay in shape while raising kids solo. And Zoe, she thrived. Top reader in her class. Won a kindness award. Built a Lego castle taller than my coffee table. Her laugh filled the apartment like music. We were good. Better than good. And then, because life's funny like that, it hit me all over again. Not from Chloe showing up, not from drama, just one random Tuesday. We were walking home from the library. She had 2 books clutched to her chest, all excited to read before bed. She looked up at me, out of nowhere, and said, "Daddy, when I grow up, I want to be a good parent, like you." I stopped walking. My throat closed. It was such a small sentence, soft, casual, like she was saying she wanted mac and cheese for dinner. But it leveled me, because that's it. That's the fucking point. All the sleepless nights, the doubts, the crying on the floor when she was asleep and I felt like a failure. It all boiled down to that moment. She saw me, not as the guy who got left, not as the one who kept it together, but as the parent who stayed, who showed up, who kept the lights on and the hugs coming. And I realized then I hadn't just built a life for us. I'd broken a cycle. Chloe may have disappeared, but Zoe wasn't going to grow up thinking that was normal. She wasn't going to equate love with absence. She'd know love meant showing the fuck up. Later that night, I stared at the ceiling after she went to bed. That sentence kept echoing, "I want to be a good parent. Like you." I didn't cry, but I did smile. The kind that feels like healing, like peace. Around that time, I got an invite to speak at a parenting conference. Wild. Right, some guy from Austin who got dumped via kitchen note now speaking on fatherhood and emotional resilience. I almost said no, but Zoe saw the email and gasped like I got invited to the freaking Oscars. "You have to go, Daddy. You can tell them about lavender walls and couch campouts." So yeah, I went and I talked. Not like a guru. Not like I had it all figured out. Just as a guy who got blindsided, broke, rebuilt, and ended up somewhere better. I told them about the nights Zoe cried herself to sleep, about the awkward Thanksgiving, about Chloe showing up asking for a place to crash. But mostly I told them about lavender paint, and pancakes, and the walk from the library. When I finished, this one dude, late 30s, looked exhausted, came up to me. "My ex bailed last month." He said, "I haven't even figured out how to tell my kid yet. I thought I was losing my mind." He paused. "Then I heard your story, and I realized I'm not broken. I'm just in the middle." That hit, because he's right. Most of us aren't failures. We're just in the thick of it, doing the best we can while the world spins around us. After the conference, I posted a clip from my speech. It blew up. Not viral, but real enough. Real comments, real people. One guy wrote, "Your story made me pick up my daughter from daycare early. I'm cooking dinner with her right now, thank you." Man, that ST gets you. Anyway, things kept moving. Life, right? Zoe turned 7. We threw a park party. Princess theme. Face paint. Pizza. She invited everyone, kids, teachers, even our UPS driver. Chloe didn't show. I didn't expect her to. But that night, after the last balloon popped and Zoe was passed out on the couch, I checked my phone. There was a message from Chloe. Just 3 words. "Happy birthday, Zoe." No emojis, no explanations, no follow-up. I stared at it for a while. Thought about replying. Thought about ignoring it. In the end, I just left it on read. Because she didn't send it to Zoe. She sent it to me, and that says everything. A few weeks later, I ran into Jen, Chloe's old best friend. Hadn't seen her since everything blew up. She looked surprised to see me, but happy too. "You're killing it," she said. "Seriously, Zoe looks so happy." She is. She hesitated, then added, "I talked to Chloe a while back. She's different. Not better. Just faded, I guess." I didn't say anything. She asked about you, said she doesn't expect anything, but she hopes you're doing okay. I nodded. We are. Jen smiled, then looked away. You know, she thought you'd fall apart. She thought walking out would shatter you. I laughed. I did fall apart. But then I put the pieces back together. Stronger. And that was true. Not in some fake motivational poster kind of way. In the real, gritty, adult way. Where you fail. And cry. And doubt everything. Then one day, you wake up. And you're still standing. Maybe not the same person, but someone better, someone stronger. Later that night, I watched Zoe sleep. Her little chest rising and falling. Her stuffed dinosaur tucked under her arm. I whispered, "You saved me, you know." She didn't hear it, but someday she will